what you go through in life affects where you are and where you're going to. So sometimes in marriage, a lot of people go through some things that they might not even know that it is what they've gone through while we're growing up that has fashioned the person they are today, and that is now affecting. It could be in a good way, it could be in a positive, in a bad way. I don't know if everybody knows, but separation in marriage, it kills the children if care is not taken. Hi, my name is Arit Peters. A lot of people pronounce my name so wrongly. So for the first time, my name is Arit Peters. Arit Peters. It's a Greek name, so, but I'm still very sure a lot of people are still gonna get it wrong, so it's fine. It's okay. I've learned to live with it. What do I need to say now? I'm the first child of my family. I have 6 siblings, in the sense that I have, how many siblings do I have? I'm so sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 siblings. I have step siblings. So that's why I was saying. But in all of it, I'm the first child. I think that's going to be centered around my growing up. Like I said, as the first child, and having to experience separation from parents. You get. I had to learn how to stand on my own. So I would say that would be it for me, because I had to grow fast as a first child. Have to grow fast, have siblings that were looking up to me and are still looking up to me. So I would say that growing up and having to be the first child and having to deal with separation from parents would be it. Separation affects the children that are involved, as we all know. At first, it's not something that comes to realization. I think that was something that I had to deal with at the end of the day. I have to tell myself, okay, you're in this, you have to grow fast, you have to do things for yourself. I had my parents, let me put it out there, I had my parents around, but there are certain things that that the opportunity will not be there compared to when you have both parents involved. So I just need to tell myself that I needed to grow fast. I need to take some decisions, and I needed a coping mechanism that will help me with that phase of my life. I think the hardest part for me was when I felt I was alone. Yeah, I felt like I was alone. It was very difficult. Like I said, nobody should get me wrong. I had my parents around, but as a kid, I just needed somebody who I could talk to, who I could pour out how I was feeling part-time. It was hard. It was really, really hard. And that whole experience made me like I said, and I'll keep saying, made me grow faster than my age. When you get more responsible than when you are supposed to experience a particular part of your life, maybe taught from how you grow, but the entire experience made me grow a bit faster than expected. Yeah. I'll leave it there. Oh my God, yes. You know how many times I felt like running away from the house? So many times. I woke up, I packed my things. In case my mom gets to see this, yes, I did. I felt like leaving the house several times. A lot of times I packed my bag. I can't remember how many times I packed my bag to leave the house. Yeah, I just need to give up because I felt like a part of me was missing in life. I felt like I wasn't getting everything I needed. I had friends around me. I saw how the experience they were having with their family, their parents, especially the ones that had with parents involved in their life. Yeah. So there's a lot of times I've tried to give up. just, I'm not sure I've ever said this to anybody. I've tried to take my life one time. But in all of it, every time, I think one thing I'm grateful to God is the fact that I was exposed to God very, very early. I usually tell myself that that was a gift from God to me in the strangest of way. I was exposed to God very early. So most times, when I come to that part of my life when I feel like, oh, I just want to throw the towel and just give up, I felt like there's this voice that's always around me telling me, oh, no, you can't. Even if I didn't understand fully what it was, whether it was the Holy Spirit talking to me, I was a Christian, I was going to church, but I didn't have the relationship I had with God then. But every time I have tried to either run away or take my life, I just heard this voice that just gives me the strength from somewhere, and I just keep going. In terms of support, you hardly hear people say this, but I will say myself and God. I'm not going to leave God out of the equation, but I supported myself. I spoke to myself. I advised myself. I encouraged myself. I prayed. So, and I had people. I'm not going to miss that out though. God introduced me to people who came along the way to my life, you know. I think then I grew up in living faith. So, and for some reason, every pastor that comes to that particular location, I'm always close to that pastor. I just find favor in their eyes. Do you get? So, with this kind of relationship that I had then, it just helped me somehow with strength. You know, when you feel like, oh, I don't know, there's this bridge in front of me, I don't know how I'm going to cross it. God just sends something along the way. Do you get? So I had those supports along the way. I'm not going to, ignore that part. But I would say in all of this, after God, my support will be myself. Because I told myself things. I spoke to myself. I advised myself. Even if I know I didn't even know that the advice I was advising myself was right or wrong. I just tell myself, this one, oh yes. So my greatest support, myself, God, and myself. I think I was saying this to someone a few days ago that with the kind of experience that I've had growing up, I didn't believe in marriage. That was one thing that I held on to while growing up, and I didn't believe in marriage. I believe in God. I believe in the institution of marriage, but I didn't believe in marriage. I didn't believe it's possible, because of what I've experienced, what I've seen around myself. So I had that mindset. It was a big wall I created for myself. Marriage and it's a no-no. Do you get? It got to some point. I made some decisions that, oh no, I'm just gonna go to school. After school, I'm gonna face my life. I sing. I forgot to put that out. I'm a singer. I sing in church. I'm gonna face music and just never think about marriage. So that was one perspective about my life then that I think my experience really affected. I didn't believe in marriage, but along the line, God began to work in me, send people around my way that I met, good marriages that I experienced, I saw. It began to shape my mindset, my thinking. Even though 100% I was not accepting it, you get. But for some reason, I just decided to take what was coming. I had blue, but I was seeing red, and I said, okay, let me see what red is saying. And that decision made me become a married woman. One strategy then was the fact that I always try as much as possible to surround myself with what I know works and what was helping me to be in the best shape of mind or life, if I can see that. I was always, like I said, I knew God very early, but not in a personal note, but I was going to church. So I made sure I was always involved in things that will take my mind off the negativity of life itself. So I was always in church. Oh God, I was always in church. And my mother beat the hell out of me. Oh my God. I was always in church, and I was in choir then. So it was so bad that if I have to go for rehearsal, my mother would say, let your choir director come and tell me that I'm going for rehearsal. They'll come and carry you, then bring you back home. You get, and all that. I enjoyed being in church. I enjoyed singing. That was where I felt peace. So, and it made me meet a lot of people. I think back then we were always involved. I don't know if they still do that now in Nigeria. There was this thing for teenagers then called Tom Camp. Teenagers Outreach Ministry. I don't know if I'm getting it right then, but it's a camp for teenagers. You go there and you meet a lot of people. You get involved. You pray. If you're singing, you come and do some competition and all that. So I was part of all those kind of things then, and it really, 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 really helped me while growing up. Along the line, I became a loner. If I'm allowed to say it, I became a shadow of myself. I had my family around. I'm not gonna shy away from that, but I wasn't the best of myself in relating with my family members. I felt like nobody know me. They don't really know who I am, what I love, what I dislike. It really affected my relationship with my family member. Not that, when I mean affect, we are not quarreling, no. We are talking, we are in, oh, hi, how are you? But, this strong bond relationship you have with your family members. For me, maybe to them, we had it, but for me, it wasn't there. And I liked where I was at that point. I liked the fact that I was alone. I got so used to being in that space that I just took it as that's the normal thing. You get? I was comfortable with that, like so comfortable. It affected my inferiority complex. I didn't see myself as worthy of some things. I didn't see myself as good enough. I get to some place and I'm like, oh, Arit, come and do this. I'm like, oh no, I can't do it. But I know I can do it. But I was scared of failure. I felt like I wasn't good enough. I wasn't going to bring the best out of anything. There's nothing good that I can do. It really, really affected me. And I was comfortable with that, with how I felt, with how life was with me. I was so comfortable. And at some point, you don't get to see that your comfort is actually your harm. Yeah. So as much as I was comfortable there, but I didn't know I was harming myself until I met my husband. Uh, when I met my husband, I think one of the things that he said was like, you just want to be alone. You just want to make it, because I grew up making my decision, making my plan, everything. I just want to do it. So if we want to do something while we're seeing each other, then I am making a decision. I want to be in charge of everything. Sometimes we go out, and when it's time to pay, I'm already in front. I'm like, oh, take this, my card. And he never says anything. I think I was asking him 3 weeks ago because I was working, and he just flashed my mind, and I just called him like, I just remember that while we were dating, every time we go out, I always pay. He's trying to pay me. I'm like, oh no, don't worry, I get it. And he just stepped back. I'm like, what were you thinking? What was like? He was like, I knew what you were dealing with, and I just need the wisdom of God to help you in, dealing with that and coming out of it. Yeah, so it really affected my relationship with family, affected myself, making friends with people. It was hard making friends. Sure, it's still very hard for me to make friends now. One of the reasons why most people will feel like, oh, Aret, she's a very free person. I'm not free, oh. I'm just I'm just doing that because I'm going to learn how to be myself, to be free with people around me. Yeah, and that's cutting my husband. He will tell me, you have to be free. I'm not saying that you're going to have the best relationship. Mistakes will happen, but you need to let yourself experience it. Yeah. Looking back, oh, I've changed. So good, so well. I've grown. I've healed. I'm still healing. I'm still healing, I beg your pardon, but I have healed. I have confidence in myself and the things I can do. The things that I don't used to believe in before, I do believe in them now. I've learned how to accept people into my world. I've learned how to not just trust myself, but trust people, not, I mean, there are two ways to this thing. I hope I'm saying it too well. Not like trusting people, total like trust, but I've learned how to allow people come into my space, yeah, and allow them do certain things for me. Compared to before when I don't want you in my space, I'm going to take care of things myself and all that. But I've learned how to entertain people in my life. When it was time to get married, we are Nigerians. So when you get to a certain age that your parents are expecting you to, bring a man to the house, or say you are seeing somebody. When it was time for marriage, I had a relationship, but none of them which worked. They didn't, it didn't go anywhere. Obviously, I'm married to Samson, his sweet husband. But when it was time for marriage, I think it was a huge issue for me. Yeah, it really was. My experience with my childhood really affected, that I had learned that marriage can work. It's possible to have a good marriage. I have read the scripture. I've read books, and I knew that marriage could work, but it was still very hard to accept it, So even when I met my husband, he said he was going to get married to me. We feel like a joke to me. But I'm not sure what I want to say now. I had times where I felt like I would say, oh no, I can't continue with this plan. Because we're already planning to get married, obviously, but I was scared I was not going to work. What if something happened? Several times I felt like saying no. I said yes, I've got a ring go, but no. But even though I knew that he was the one, it was God. I know that this was from God. The way our relationship happened, how we met and everything, it could only be God. Do you get? But I was just not accepting it. I was scared, and several times I felt like no, this is going to fail. But we're going on 5 years now. In August, it'll be 5 years, and it hasn't failed, and I know it's not going to fail. Yeah. One that's kept me strong is the fact that I have God. I'm going to hold on to that. I have God. And every step, every challenge that comes my way, I've learned to always go before God. There are times that it seems that it's impossible for a particular challenge to go away. But with God, it's you always come out of whatever challenge you're facing, however hard it is or difficult it is. I've also learned how to talk to people about it, because most time having to keep it all by yourself, bottle it up, it does more harm than good to you. You might not realize it. You might feel like, oh, I'm taking care of it, but trust me, having to share what you're going through with somebody that you do trust, someone who's not going to judge you, somebody who is going to be there for you in love, helps a lot. So I've learned to always trust somebody, talk about it, and trust God in prayer too. I'll tell myself, you are strong, Arit. You are so strong, because I talked about finish line just now. While I was going through that, I never saw myself getting to the finish line of what I was going through. That was a phase, that was its own phase. But I would tell myself, you're strong. You made some mistakes, but you learned from those mistakes. And those mistakes have shaped you to become the woman you are now, and you'll become, and while still growing. So I would tell myself, Arit, you are strong, you did it, and anyone can still do it. If you're facing challenges now, I can't promise you it's going to go away like this, but it will go away. It will go away. And it's a process. Life itself is a process. So we all have processes that we need to go through. Don't give up. Just stay strong. It might be hard. It might be like you're not getting to the finish line, but the finish line is there, is waiting for you in front. It might be like, oh, you're losing yourself. You're not losing yourself. It's a process. Don't give up. Even if what you're seeing around you feels like, oh no, there's no way. There is always a way. Trust God. If you're a Christian, trust God. Whatever religion you are, trust God. Just trust God, and have someone who you trust enough to share your challenges with. Your challenge might not be separation of parents, it might be something else. But whatever it is that you find yourself going through at this moment, it will go. It will pass. It will end. It has its expiration dates, and it will come to an end. But while you are going through it, just see it as a process, because you're coming out strong. I look at myself now and I realize that God allowed me go through that phase, that process, because He needed me to learn and unlearn. I'm not who I used to be before, because I have learned some things through life itself, what I've gone through. So just look at it as you're going through school. You're going through an institution. We all go to university for 4 years and we get to learn. So at the end of the day, when we are done with school, your main goal is that you pass and that you fail. Because if you fail, you're going to go back to it. So if you're going through anything now, it's a process for your next phase, the next level of your life. Trust the process. Trust God. Learn and unlearn while you're going through it. Because at the end of the day, when you get to the finish line, you're going to look and be like, oh, that is why I went through this. So don't give up. Yes, so I and my family, we are very, very good. Let me clear that in case I'm going to watch this and she's going to come to me and say, wait, you said something here. It was an experience I had to go through. Separation in marriage is not easy. It's not an easy game. It's not an easy ball. It always affects the family. This was my share of life itself that I went through. It was difficult. I'm not going to lie. It was difficult. But in all of this, I am strong. I'm good. I'm okay. Life is good with me. My siblings are how do I even say this? My siblings are blessings from God to me. Oh my God. In all of this, I am grateful that I have them in my life. So, God has been good, and I am good also. So, I'm fine. My family are okay. We're good, but it was just my own experience of life. They usually say that what you go through in life gives you an assignment of purpose. I'm a husband. I'm very, very interested in marriage. Why we got married then, we started this thing about relationship, talking about marriage itself. So what My life experience birthed the fact that I'm interested in marriage. Yeah. So it's something I'm also not looking to, you know, start talking about, having to talk about marriage, life experience, because most times, just like you said, when we're about to start this section, you said something that what you go through in life affects where you are and where you're going to. So sometimes in marriage, a lot of people go through some things that they might not even know that it is what they've gone through while we're growing up that has fashioned the person they are today, and that is now affecting. It could be in a good way, it could be in a positive, in a bad way. Don't get me wrong, but I'm so interested in marriage, how it can work, because most people, I don't know if everybody knows, but separation in marriage, it kills the children if care is not taken. I'm not going to say I had any quotes that stayed with me then. The only thing I kept telling myself then was, keep going. Just keep going. Keep going. Excuse me. Keep going. I just kept telling myself, keep going, keep going, keep going. And that's what I'm saying to myself. All right, keep going.